We've all heard that numbers never lie, but what if that wasn't really the case? Everyone knows that the main way to check whether you're losing weight is to check the weight on the scale. But what everyone doesn't know is that there's a lot more things that can influence how much you weigh on the scale than whether you've just gained fat or not. Some of these factors can even make your weight go up by multiple pounds over just the span of a day. And so a lot of times people will see these fluctuations, not realize what's really at play, they'll get unmotivated, and they quit on their diet when they really just needed to continue on what they were doing and watch the scale come down naturally. So in today's video, I'm going to go over 5 crucial factors other than whether you've gained fat or not that can affect how much you weigh on the scale. Once you know these factors, you won't be scared the next time you see a jump in the scale, and it won't cause you to go off your diet. So with that, let's get into the video. First up is sodium. Now we all need sodium in order to think, in order to stay hydrated, and even to have our nervous systems function properly. But an excess in sodium can actually cause a drastic increase in water weight. When you ingest sodium, it actually draws water into your cells and makes them swell up. This is why you might see your weight go up drastically after you have a meal out, or even if you have a meal at a healthy fast food chain like Chipotle. A lot of times these restaurants and fast food chains have tons and tons of added sodium. A simple bowl at Chipotle often has over 2,000 milligrams of sodium, which is the daily recommended allowance for the average American adult. If you're someone who's used to eating clean, healthy foods that you've cooked at home, a lot of times a meal out can actually make you retain a ridiculous amount of water because it'll make your body go into shock from the amount of sodium you've given it. You might wake up with a puffy face, you might feel bloated, and the scale can go up by even up to 10 pounds. I've had days where I've had a cheat meal and my weight was up 10 pounds at the small weight of 150 pounds. So I went from 150 pounds to 160 pounds in just a day. And these kinds of fluctuations are often what lead people to make drastic changes with their diet. They'll see that the scale went up by like 5 pounds in one day and they'll think, I need to cut my calories by a ridiculous amount to get this fat off, and that's just not the case. So if you know that you're someone who mentally cannot handle seeing those kinds of fluctuations on the scale, then I suggest that you standardize the amount of sodium that you're having every day. And of course, if you do choose to indulge, make sure that you wait a few days and watch for your weight to normalize before you make any decisions about what you need to do with your calories. Next up is going to be the food content in your stomach. So a lot of times when we're on a diet, our metabolism naturally slows down a little bit, which means our digestion slows down as well. A lot of times we're also eating higher volume, higher fiber foods to keep us more satiated throughout the day, which naturally stay in your stomach for longer. So when you couple a slow digestion with a greater volume of food, then you're going to end up weighing more because there's just going to be more of a mass of food in your body. If you eat a 2-pound salad, that 2-pound salad is still going to be there tomorrow and you will weigh 2 pounds more. It's not just disappearing into thin air, it has to go somewhere, and so you will see that reflected on the scale. A lot of times this is the reason that people think that they're actually gaining weight when they're in a calorie deficit. And the reason is, it's not that you actually gain fat, it's just that you gain weight. So if you're someone right now who's dieting down and you're eating a lot of high volume, high fiber foods, this could be the reason that you're not seeing the numbers that you want. Third up is actually going to be stress. Stress raises our cortisol levels, which in turn also raises our aldosterone levels. This is a hormone secreted by the kidneys that causes your body to hang on to salt and water. So that's again going to lead to a water retention problem. It's not your imagination that you wake up looking worse after a stressful day at work. Your eyes might be puffy, your face might be swollen, and you might even just feel heavier. Now the best way to mitigate this is actually to reduce the overall amount of stress. But a lot of times we don't actually know when our cortisol is high or when we're even unconsciously stressed. And if you want to find out more about how to figure out if you're subconsciously stressed, then check out this video right here where I talk about 5 unexpected signs that your cortisol is actually high. But for most of us, stress is just going to be a part of everyday life, and so the best thing that you can do is to learn to accept that and not let it mess with you mentally. Real quick, if you are enjoying this content, please make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you can stay up to date when I post new content. I post a new video every single Thursday and you don't want to miss it. I've also posted a link in the description below to my free cheat sheet to help you stay on track with your diet while you're eating out at restaurants. You can also subscribe to my newsletter, Valhalla Lifestyle, where I'll be giving you fitness tips, diet hacks, and motivational content to help you reach your dream physique. I've made both of these to get some engagement from you guys, and your support means the world to me, so if you would go click those links in the description, it would mean a lot, and I think that you will get some real value out of it. Now, creatine is one of the most efficacious and studied supplements in the entire fitness industry. If there was one supplement that would be the most universally recommendable supplement, it would probably be creatine. Not only does it help your athletic performance, but it's also been shown to potentially reduce anxiety and even have neuroprotective effects which can stop brain degradation. So although creatine is great, the way that it works is by actually drawing more water into your muscles. This is going to make your muscles look a lot bigger, a lot fuller, and overall within a couple weeks, you'll probably look bigger in the mirror as well. You might think that you've put on a couple pounds of muscle, but in actuality, what's happened is your muscles are now storing more water, making you look bigger and fuller, but with that comes extra weight on the scale. Some people have said that creatine HCl actually leads to less water retention while providing the same benefits. I haven't tried this out yet personally, and I'm not sure if the literature supports it, but if you are worried about water retention or creatine monohydrate isn't working for you, then you might want to try creatine HCl. Either way, don't let the scale weight take away from how much better you might look and how much better you might perform if you take some creatine. The last reason that you might be storing more water weight or weighing more than you expect on the scale is based on the number of carbs that you're having. I know it's very popular to be afraid of carbs, but guys, you do not have to be worried about carbs. They're great, they promote performance, they give you serotonin in the brain which lets you calm down, and they keep your thyroid functioning properly. Also, if you're someone who's trying to bulk up, carbs will often be your friend because they're easy to get down and they're very anabolic. But the downside to having a lot of carbs is that if you're someone who's used to eating lower carb, or you're someone who's been dieting down recently, then having a higher carb meal will make you store a lot of water. For every gram of carbohydrates that you take in, your body actually stores 3 to 4 grams of water. That water retention will help your body store the carbs as glycogen, which will then fuel your weightlifting performance or any other intense exercise that you're doing. So if you're someone who's used to low carbs, or you've been dieting down recently and you find that your weight has gone up a ton after a big chicken and rice dinner, then just know that it's not fat, it's just water. The facial puffiness and the bloating might mess with your head, but don't let the day-to-day numbers mess with your progress. Instead, focus on the big picture. Now, speaking of the big picture, the main takeaway from this video is going to be that the scale can play a lot of games with us. So what can we do to make sure that we're getting an accurate picture of what's happening with our fat loss? What I recommend here is to weigh yourself as often as possible, every single day if you can. And then you're either going to take your median weight for the week, which is the middle number, so eliminate the highs, eliminate the lows, and then the middle number is what you're going to take for the week, or take the average of all of your weigh-ins for the week, and then compare that number week to week. If over the course of a couple of weeks you're seeing that the weight is steadily going up, then you're probably gaining weight. If you see that the weight is going down, then you're probably losing weight. If you couple that with calorie tracking, then you'll be able to get an accurate gauge of how many calories your body is burning. This method will prevent you from making changes too soon to your plan or getting scared of day-to-day changes and thinking that you need to cut your calories when really you just need to stay consistent. Comment down below, did you find this video helpful? Is there anything else that you'd like me to discuss? And if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Please don't stop now. Go ahead and watch one of the 2 videos that'll pop up on screen. Good luck in your battle with the scales, and I'll see you in the next video.